Now, at least 600 investors from Turkey and Uganda met in Kampala for a two-day business summit. In 2020, both countries saw a steady rise in their trade volumes despite the coronavirus pandemic. Now, with a combination of tax incentives and a free trade industrial park, the Ugandan government hopes to become the top destination for Turkish investments in East Africa. TRT World's Adeshewa Josh has more.
For 2 years, Turkish businessman Levent Serdar operated at a loss exporting industrial lubricants to Uganda. He said his products were of higher quality, but he couldn't compete with cheaper imported brands in the market due to high taxes and currency exchange rates. In 2019, Serdar opened Uganda's first industrial lubricant factory, Potenza, after taking advantage of a government tax break for investors willing to set up shop in the country.
We are going to come to the break-even in Uganda. So this year we are expecting around $1 million US dollar turnover. This is what we are expecting this year, and we are going to be there at the break-even. I think that's what we are going. But next year and the other years, we are very optimistic about the development of Uganda.
The IMF says Uganda's economy will bounce back to its pre-pandemic growth rate of 6% by the end of next year. And when that happens, Serdar plans to increase his workforce, made up of mostly Ugandans, from 12 to 50 as his business expands.
The Turkish business community here in Uganda is relatively small compared to other countries in East Africa. But as the Ugandan economy recovers from the shocks of the coronavirus pandemic, the government is hoping to attract more Turkish-owned businesses like Potenza. Not only do they bring in Turkish products, but also Turkish expertise in manufacturing, infrastructure development, and medicine.
Last year, the trade volume between Uganda and Turkey increased to $71 million. But Uganda's share of that revenue is barely 15%. It comes from companies like KK Fresh Produce, which exports unprocessed agricultural crops to Turkey. Agriculture is the backbone of Uganda's economy, and the World Bank says it contributes half of export earnings and a quarter of the country's gross domestic product. CEO James Kanyinje hopes the business summit between Turkish and Ugandan investors in Kampala will address the issues of funding.
You don't need to put capital everywhere. You need to say there are 15 companies. Let me invest in them in the next 20 years and see what happens. And that's how the country will develop.
The government hopes Turkish investment will help diversify its economy.
If we can develop the manufacturing sector, then transfer the knowledge, the technology and the skills, from high-end country like Turkey to Uganda, then you're going to give, jobs to these youth.
Ugandans hope their government will sign trade deals with more Turkish investors like Serdar, who will put them first. Adeshewa Josh, TRT World, Kampala, Uganda.